Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we're taking a look at the most talented generation in England history and what they've got up to after retirement. Goalkeeper, David James. Goalkeeper was a problem during the golden generation, with an awkward period between the retirement of David Seaman and the emergence of Joe Hart. But David James was the most common solution, spending 13 years in the England setup and playing 53 matches in that time, keeping 21 clean sheets. That worked out to a shutout 40% of the time, inferior to Seaman's 54% and Paul Robinson's 58%, but James remained a key part of the squad, playing for his country until he was 40, despite smoking 20 cigarettes a day from the age of 15 until 30. After he quit, he worked on anti-smoking campaigns, and his charity work also saw him travel to Malawi, after which he established a foundation to develop farming technology in the country and created a scholarship at the University of Westminster for Malawian students. But James hit hardship himself. Despite earning a reported £20 million during his career and working as an artist and illustrator after leaving football, he declared bankruptcy in 2014 and was forced to auction off 150 signed shirts and balls to make ends meet. He has since managed Indian side Kerala Blasters and worked as a pundit. Right back, Gary Neville. Fullbacks from the past often seem limited compared to those of today, and no one would claim Gary Neville could attack like Alexander-Arnold. But the Man United legend was always utterly reliable in 19 years with the Red Devils and 12 with the Three Lions, appearing at 5 tournaments under 5 different coaches and earning 85 international caps, more than Lineker, Shearer or Terry. An 8-time Premier League and 2-time Champions League winner, Neville retired in 2011 when he felt he was no longer up to Man United's standard, and he subsequently became a pundit, joining Sky in 2011 and helping to bring in-depth tactical commentary to a wider audience. He also took his coaching badges, acting as assistant manager to the England side at Euro 2012, World Cup 2014 and Euro 2016, and in 2015 was appointed Valencia boss, a tough move and one which saw Neville struggle, with just 3 wins and no clean sheets in 16 games in charge. Sacked after 3 months, Neville has since returned to punditry and once again is among the best in the field. Centre-back, Rio Ferdinand. Many of the players in R11 was perfectly suited to their era, but Rio Ferdinand was a player ahead of his time. Quick and tough in the tackle, he had all the bruising physicality of an old-school centre-half, but he also possessed an elegance and range of passing which set a new standard for defenders, with Bonucci, Boateng and Van Dijk all building on a foundation built by the Englishman. However, Ferdinand's effortlessness on the pitch was in stark contrast to his behaviour off it. During his playing career, he was convicted of speeding and drink driving, he was criticised for using homophobic language on a radio show and sexist language on Twitter, and he was banned for 8 months when he was 26 after missing a mandatory drug test. But somehow he has remained a media and fan favourite. As well as working as a pundit for BT Sport, he has spoken openly about his difficulties following the death of his wife in 2015, taking up boxing himself as a way of coping with the loss. He has since made a documentary on bereavement and published a book on the topic, the 4th released under his name. Centre-back, John Terry. Just 2 years after he left the Prem in 2017, John Terry was back, working for Aston Villa as a coach after retiring at the club in 2018. The ex-defender helped Villa earn promotion from the Championship in 2019 and beat the drop in 2020, while currently the villains are the league's surprise package, surging into contention for a Champions League spot. The summit of the league is a place Terry knows well, having won 5 titles with Chelsea, but his England career was more varied. Breaking into the team at 23, he quickly ousted Sol Campbell and captained the Three Lions between 2006 and 2010, only to be stripped of the role after allegations of an affair with the girlfriend of a former teammate Wayne Bridge. He subsequently regained the captaincy when Rio Ferdinand was injured, but again lost it in 2012. This time after he received a £220,000 fine and a 4-game ban for racially abusing Anton Ferdinand. The FA took the decision without consulting manager Fabio Capello, and the Italian resigned, while Terry retired from the national team too. It was a sordid and perhaps fitting full stop to England's golden generation, a period which promised joy but ended in tears. Left back, Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole might be the only player in R11 who was the undisputed best in the world in his position. One of only 9 men to earn 100 England caps, the left back had 2 titles, 1 unbeaten by the time he was 24, played in 3 World Cups and 2 Euros, and in his 107 appearances for his nation saw the team concede just 88 goals. Though Cole holds the record for most England caps without scoring, he was a clear difference maker, tasting defeat just 14 times in a Three Lions shirt. And after the success of his top-level career, he followed a route we'll cover again in this list, travelling to the MLS with LA Galaxy, where he was given the chance to observe video analysis sessions and coach academy players individually. a passion he developed with Derby County, where he retired in 2019 before joining old friend Frank Lampard's backroom staff. Cole is now back at Chelsea working in the under-15s and has declared his coaching ambition as to be the best. If he's half as good a manager as he was a defender, he might just do it. Right midfield, David Beckham. Appropriately nicknamed Golden Balls, David Beckham was the defining player of the Golden Generation. Sent off at the 1998 World Cup for a foul on Diego Simeone in the round of 16, Beckham was blamed for England's exit, and needed several years to rebuild his reputation, even after being appointed captain in 2000. Only returning to the fans' good books when he scored the equaliser in a draw with Greece, which took the Three Lions to the 2002 World Cup. Beckham went on to play every game at that World Cup and the next, as well as Euro 2004, exiting in the quarters each time, and overall he ended up with 115 caps for his country, the third most in history. But his career post-football has been just as interesting. When Beckham joined LA Galaxy in 2007, he was given a special contract allowing him to buy a place in the MLS for just $25 million after retirement. And in 2014, Beckham founded Inter Miami, which played its first season in 2020 and is now coached by Beckham's former teammate Phil Neville. As an actor and philanthropist who has now worked on issues like child poverty, AIDS and malaria, Beckham is now worth a reported $500 million. Central midfield, Steven Gerrard. Amazingly, only one person in our 11 has played for the Three Lions more recently than Gerrard, who last appeared at the 2014 World Cup. That was a nightmare tournament for the Liverpool legend, as he captained the nation to defeats against Italy and Uruguay, in which he was responsible for both goals conceded and a draw against Costa Rica. But it doesn't tarnish an outstanding career in which he played 114 times and bagged 21 international goals, 4 more than Beckham. A dynamic 8 who moved deeper as he aged, Gerrard's tactical awareness gave him a good foundation for coaching, and he joined Liverpool's youth setup in 2017, where he was mentored by Jurgen Klopp. He took the Reds under-19s to the quarter-finals of the UEFA Youth League the next year, developing youngsters like Curtis Jones, and in June 2019 became boss of Glasgow Rangers, in need of a boost after 7 trophyless years in the lower leagues. Gerrard has defied the odds, crafting a side on the cusp of denying Celtic 10 titles in a row, with a 65% win rate, 0.7 goals conceded per match and 2.1 scored. With Klopp's contract up in 2024, he may be back at Anfield much sooner than expected. Central midfield, Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard might have been the least talented of the 4 players in our midfield, but he was arguably the most consistent. Capped 106 times and included in Euro 2004's team of the tournament, just 9 men have scored more England goals than Lampard's 29. And he was world class for over a decade, netting over 10 league goals in 10 consecutive seasons between 2003 and 2013 when he turned 35. Always hard-working and intelligent on the field, Lampard applied himself to coaching when he hung up his boots with New York City FC, and received his first managerial role in 2018, just 2 years after retiring, with Championship side Derby. Though the Rams finished in the same place, 6th with 1 point fewer, 1 goal fewer and 6 more conceded under Lampard than they had the year before, Chelsea were impressed, and hired him to replace Maurizio Sarri in 2019. He finished 4th in his first season, but Lampard's 52% win rate is worse than every permanent Blues boss since 2000 except Andre Villas-Boas. A serial winner as a player, Lamps is yet to find that consistency as a coach. Left midfield, Paul Scholes. Believe it or not, David James is the only player in our team with fewer England caps than Paul Scholes. The Man United star spent just 7 years in the national setup, retiring from duty in 2004 at 29 to focus on club football. A decision which paid off with 5 titles, a second Champions League and 303 matches played after that point. It's hard to blame Scholes. Though a genius who scored 14 and 66 for his country, he was often shifted wide to accommodate Lampard and Gerrard, while Sven-Goran Eriksson's preference for a 2-striker system denied him the attacking midfield spot where he had excelled previously, and his unwillingness to fight a losing battle continued in his life since retirement. Coaxed off the couch to help United after Moyes was sacked in 2014, he has since managed Oldham and Salford, but in both cases jumped ship quickly, citing owner interference at Oldham and the need for an experienced boss at Salford, showing a humility and dignity often lacking in the game. Now an occasional pundit and part owner of Salford, Scholes gets to pick and choose his moments in the spotlight, just the way he's always liked it. Forward, Michael Owen. Michael Owen's famous distaste for football has hurt his image post-retirement, but the striker was once among the most exciting youngsters ever to play for England. Chester-born and Liverpool-educated, he made his debut in 1998 and scored his first international goal at just 18 years and 6 months old, almost a year younger than Mason Greenwood is now. With 40 goals and 89 caps, Owen had roughly the same strike rate as Alan Shearer, and scored at every major tournament from 1998 until 2004, only failing to net at the 2006 World Cup when an ACL injury ended his competition at the group stage. He won the Ballon d'Or at 22, but his pace and agility suffered from persistent layoffs, meaning he scored 71% of his 222 career goals before he was 25, netting only 64 times in 9 years after that point. And England's star waned along with his, with Owen retiring from the team at 28 in 2008 as the nation failed to qualify for that year's Euros. Since leaving the game, Owen has spoken about the challenges of adapting to normal life and the mental health issues facing ex-pros. He now has a new sporting passion, acquiring his own stables and training horses. Forward, Wayne Rooney. We almost included Joe Cole here, who, unlike every England forward except Owen, made both the 2002 and 2006 World Cups. But nobody fired the imagination of England fans quite like Rooney when he burst onto the international scene in 2003. A tigerish forward with incredible technique and mature decision-making, the 18-year-old was a starter for his country at Euro 2004, netting 4 times in 4 games to make the team of the tournament. However, Rooney had disciplinary and fitness issues, and at the World Cup 2006 he showcased both, missing tournament prep with a metatarsal injury, and getting sent off in the quarter-finals against Portugal as England flopped again. But though his 120 caps and 53 international goals never silenced his critics, Rooney is well into his second career at 35. After helping DC United from the bottom of MLS's Eastern Conference in 2018 to consecutive spots in the playoffs, he returned to England with Derby, taking his coaching badges while playing for the club as they finished 10th in 2020. Appointed manager in January in the wake of declining performances and Philip Cocu's departure, Rooney will hope that for him, as for Lampard, the Rams can be a springboard to the Prem. So guys, that was our 11 of England's golden generation. Where are they now? What did you guys think of the list? And which story surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel and click on screen for another great Football Daily video. And I'll see you next time.